Hey, fellow babies, welcome to Pachter Factor Live on SIFTD.net. It's Halloween, so I'm wearing black shorts and a Halloween orange shirt. Happy Halloween. I'm giving out full-size candy bars. I am hopeful if you're seeing this before the stores close and you can afford to get them, be that house. It's cool. Anyway, those of you who have plenty of money and are already supporting us as Patreon patrons and YouTube subscribers, thank you so much for your patronage. Any of those people, plus any of you who don't have plenty of money, please try to remember to link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account. That is free for you. Amazon will pay Shane $2.50 a month. You have to redo that every month. So if you haven't done it in a while, check out the instructions in the show description below and link those two accounts. Amazon will pay Shane. It costs you nothing. You are maximizing the value of your Amazon Prime subscription. So please get on that right away. Let's get to today's hot topic. Halo is officially going to PlayStation. There's a cooperative remake, so no multiplayer, but co-op. It's going to be called Halo Campaign Evolved. It is the original 2001 Halo that came out with the original Xbox. Actually, I remember playing that game and remember playing it co-op, and I played it with another person, split screen, same TV, two controllers side by side. Really fun game, but obviously not multiplayer. And at the time, difficult to connect via the internet. Obviously, this game will be different. And it's one of their iconic games. They're clearly spending some money to remaster it. And clearly, they're signaling kind of the end of the Xbox by putting it on PlayStation. So, this is telling Xbox fanboys that we, Microsoft, are just not committed to first-party content being exclusive on our first-party platform. We are going to take our first-party content and we're going to let others enjoy it on other platforms. So PlayStation fanboys, you were right. You waited out Xbox and you won. You're getting their content. My guess is this is the first of a series of Xbox games that will come to PlayStation. There's already been others, but my guess is that you're going to see no more exclusivity in the next 5 years. And what you might see is either timed exclusive for Xbox or timed exclusive for Game Pass. But I think, if you have a PlayStation, ultimately, if you wait long enough, you're going to get everything that comes on Xbox. Microsoft is under pressure. I think I talked about this in another episode of Pachter Factor, to be more profitable, to make 30% kind of profit margins, meaning for every dollar they collect, they profit around 30 cents. They're not going to get there unless they take already spent investments like building or developing Halo and exploit them by putting them on other platforms. So when they sell Halo Campaign Evolved for $50 or whatever it's going to be priced at on PlayStation, that's going to come in at virtually 100% profit. They literally probably have 10 million, 20 million of upgrade and porting cost. It's not going to be 100 million. And so everything that comes in above that first 10 million is profit. So they're going to make a ton of money.
This episode of Pachter Factor is brought to you by DeShazer Ryan Realty. It's time to find out why everyone is buying homes in Montana. Right now, Doug DeShazer has a beautiful single-level home with a triple-car garage available in the best neighborhood in Libby, Montana. This custom 3-bed, 2.5-bath home has a 500-square-foot patio for entertaining. It's built to last with solid wood core doors, Anderson windows, an asphalt driveway, central AC and heat, and a private well to run its sprinkler system. The price was recently reduced, and owner financing is available with 20% down. No matter where you're looking to buy in the U.S., Doug DeShazer is licensed to help. Make him your real estate consultant at 406-291-1643. That's Doug DeShazer at 406-291-1643, or go to LibbyMontanaRealEstate.com.
I would expect they will sell 3 or 4 or 5 million units, maybe 10. And I think they'll probably sell 1 million units a year in perpetuity. And then they do that again for each of Halo, 2, 3, 4, 5, every extension of Halo. You're going to see lots and lots of content. Forza on PlayStation. You're going to see Fable and Grabbed by the Ghoulies on PlayStation. They can bring back a lot of old IP. So what does it mean for the Xbox? Microsoft doesn't care anymore. The fact is that in order to be profitable, they're going all in on Game Pass. And while I think it's fair to question their strategy in raising the price of Game Pass to $30 for the Super Elite Edition before they have 100 million subscribers, that probably will dampen interest in the content. So ultimately, I think that this is just a step in the direction of we are really committed to Game Pass and we are really not committed to Xbox. We are committed to being profitable, so we want our games to be available to everybody. And the trick here is by making first-party content available to PlayStation owners, they're in a position to upsell that PlayStation owner on Game Pass in the future, because that PlayStation owner would like all this content, maybe as part of a $5, $10, $20 monthly subscription. So, that should be the next deal you hear about from PlayStation, that they're going to offer Game Pass on the PlayStation at reasonable pricing with lots and lots of Microsoft content. And I think Microsoft would be into that instantly because they'd probably add 10 or 20 million subscribers. I think Microsoft is signaling to the world that they're really not committed to growing the installed base of Xbox. Will they keep making Xbox? Yes. Will it be super high price, $1,000? Probably. Will they sell 3 million units to the hardest core fanboys? Yes. But is it going to be a 75 million, 100 million unit seller at $1,000? No chance. I could actually see them doing something like charging $1,000 or $1,500 for the console and including a 5-year, $30 a month Game Pass subscription as part of the purchase. So essentially you're prepaying for Game Pass. So I could see them doing cool, innovative stuff like that. So look, Halo is the reason that we all bought the original Xbox. When I say we all, 20 million of us or so. And Halo 2, 3 is the reason we bought the Xbox 360. So Halo was the system seller back in the day. Microsoft didn't actually sell Bungie. They actually gave Bungie away. The Bungie guys apparently just asked for too much money and were allowed to leave, and they went to Activision, made Destiny, and then they got sold to Sony and they made nothing. Microsoft kind of lost its way between 2001 and 2010-11. They overinvested in a bunch of studios that really produced crap. We can argue about 343 and whether any of those Halos were any good. They were good, but not good enough. They weren't selling systems. We can argue about whether Fable was a system seller. I think not. Whether Forza is a system seller. I think not. Whether Gears is a system seller. Probably, but it doesn't come out often enough. So you just haven't gotten enough compelling first-party content to justify buying an Xbox. In the aggregate, they've had a lot of content. But as far as system sellers, where you just had to get an Xbox or an Xbox 360 to play Halo, they haven't done anything since the Xbox 360. It's been really, really tough for them to do anything to sell the Xbox One or the Xbox Series. You just haven't seen it. And so I think when they embarked upon the studio acquisition spree, they bought Ninja Theory, again, great game, Hellblade, but not a system seller. They bought Obsidian, again, Outer Worlds, great game, but not a system seller. They bought Bethesda, plenty of great games, but they haven't yet actually come out with anything that's a system seller. So I think that they kind of morphed from, as they started the acquisition strategy, they morphed from we're going to support the Xbox to we're going to support Game Pass. And so I think what you saw with the Activision acquisition, because again, the system seller at Activision is Call of Duty, and they agreed with the regulators that they would not make that exclusive. So from day one. So they've always thought, as they bought Activision, this is not a system seller, this is a Game Pass seller. And I think they pivoted somewhere between buying Ninja Theory and buying Activision, that we're not going to support the Xbox exclusively anymore with our content. We're going to support Game Pass with our content. And we're going to do it through offering this stuff for free as part of the subscription. So, I think that what ended up happening over the 20 years between Halo Combat Evolved and 2021 or 2022 when they announced the Activision acquisition, I think they realized that they just weren't good at making first party content that gave you a reason to buy their console over PlayStation. They had plenty of good content, but nothing that was a system seller. And I think they gave up in that 20-year period, and they decided we're going to pivot to Game Pass. So everything they've done since 2021 has been to support Game Pass. And you're seeing that. Obviously, they launched the Xbox Series before they made that pivot, but they bought Activision since, and that was the final nail of the pivot, and that they're just trying to make as much money from their games as they can and win over other audiences, the PlayStation installed base, to ultimately be subscribers to Game Pass. So again, we've seen this 20-year migration from being a console manufacturer to being a software subscription offerer. And I think that ultimately Game Pass has to evolve further, become truly a platform that has lots and lots of other third-party content. They're not there yet. So I just think this is further evidence that they're moving away from considering themselves a console manufacturer and being in the console business, and toward thinking of themselves as a software platform and being in the software profit business. Sony hasn't made that pivot. Nintendo definitely hasn't made that pivot. And the comparison here is, if you ask Apple what they are they a hardware company or are they a software company? They will in a heartbeat say we're a software company, even though the bulk of their revenue comes from selling hardware. But they're a software company. And I think that Microsoft is making that pivot to thinking of themselves as a software company. Sony and Nintendo haven't made that pivot yet. So it's the end of the Xbox as we know it. This is actually a big deal. This is iconic because it's the original system seller that they're kind of giving away. And it shows that they're no longer committed to selling systems. They're committed to selling the service. Thank you on this Halloween day to those of you who are Prime members who have linked your Prime account to your Twitch Prime account. Easy to do. Look at the description instructions on how to do that in the show description below. Thank you to our Patreon patrons and our YouTube subscribers. Thanks to the rest of you. You're getting this late, so Halloween already happened. Give out full-size candy bars if you can. Candy prices are at all-time highs. Beef prices and coffee prices at all-time highs. Why? Tariffs. Write or call your congressman and complain and ask them to get back to work and take some steps to get rid of tariffs because it's costing you. I hope everybody has a happy and safe Halloween. I will see you guys on Pachter Factor Live next week.